Look, you've been jungle diffed. It's okay. It's okay to not be the better jungler in the game. What's not okay is not doing something about it. For the game you had just before this where you were jungle diffed, that's the last time that happens. In this video, we are going to be going over 3 ways that you can jungle more masterfully, more efficiently, and just damn better than 99% of other junglers. So I'm going to start off by talking about the early game when we have 2 equal junglers in terms of CS, and then I'm just going to cut away for a brief example about what you could do if you were a farming jungler in terms of true and utter denial and deconstruction of the enemy jungler to get, like a 50-60 CS lead by 14 minutes. Mix up jungle fundamentals as you watch this First Blood Fiesta, and I thought, hey, why don't we find a game where basically a lot of people would complain about laners or say, wow, the game was doomed, we were always doomed to lose. And okay, replay glitch. We will always look at games through the lens of the pain sufferer, right? In this case, the Lilia. And that's the problem, okay? We have here an early level 1 fight, and I'm sure most of you are used to seeing those in your games, and you end up compromised with your leashless start. So in this particular case, no wards placed by red side are living, no wards placed by blue side are living. So the Lilia is going to go to the blue. The Lee Sin's going to go to the wolves. What do you think he's going to do next? Think about it. What does Lilia want to do? Blue, Gromp, wolves, raptors, red, Krugs. She might be a little concerned about Lee Sin potentially invading her. The issue here is we swapped for Scanner, our wood was destroyed, we don't see anything from the blue side's perspective. That can make things a little difficult for us in these kinds of positions. If you want help implementing this information into your own game, I have a free jungle improvement resource and a dedicated program where we have jungle video courses, jungle coaching VOD libraries, weekly coaching classes, Q&As, patch note rundowns, private high elo streams, as well as a private jungle Discord. And I know how to make junglers convert from low elo to gold to emerald to diamond to master plus. If you want to climb faster than anybody you know, jungle diff every game you play, head to virkayu.gg. Don't really want to be here, so what I like to do in these particular cases is actually not reverse clear. I sequence and I try a little bit of action, or I sequence and kind of play it super safe, and I really hope that the Lee Sin shows up first. And I might actually go from Raptors around the back here. I'll drag Raptors, go around the back, check if red's up. If it is, I'll go to Krugs. What that allows me to do is buy a lot more time for the Lee Sin to show, but also if he does decide to invade, I won't be there half HP taking a red buff, you know what I mean? So those are the kinds of things I like to think about when I'm a farming jungler against that sort of potential aggression. Lee Sin, on the other hand, you think, oh, probably he's going to do walls, down to his Gromp and blue. He can gank bottom lane here, Aphelios, no sums, Soraka, no sums, Renekton, no sums, and then you're looking at here, no sums, and this guy's Hex Flash. So the map is open at this particular stage, but overall, it's a neutral start, right? Regular stuff. Now, if you're the Lee Sin and you know that the Lilia is going to know that you might decide to invade, if you follow me, what can you do to kind of offset that? You can go for a hyperactive clear, which kind of covers your bases. Because if Lilia thinks that Lee Sin is going to steal her red, what will Lilia do? Vertical jungle, right? If you have vision here and assume that the Lee Sin's going to invade this, then you're not going to waste your time doing this and farming down. You're just going to go blue, Gromp, and probably take a red, right? Maybe take this and gank this, or tank this and gank this. There's a lot of mind gaming going on here, but the Lee Sin makes First Blood jungle diff brain. By that I mean, he goes wolves into the red. This protects him. It gets him potential vertical jungling of the Lilia, which she would make out of fear that he was actually taking her red buff. And the whole point of this video is to show you, sometimes games aren't doomed, sometimes you just get jungle diffed. That's it. It isn't doomed, you just get out jungled. And how then do you play around that? So, Renekton shoves out the Renekton, no flash, uses the advantage. Lilia says, okay, don't know where Lee Sin is. Please don't be a Raptors, please don't be a Raptors. Oh God, my Raptors are here. I'm so happy. Scanning to make sure that she didn't ward because I wasn't sure. Maybe the Lee Sin warded, I don't know. I'm freaking out a little bit, just to make sure I get my Raptors. That's literally what's going through your mind here, okay? Now what you could do is try using E on the red and just go straight to your Raptors, but if Lee Sin came down here directly, then hey, he could have done this already. So from the Lily's perspective, it's a case of, I'm not entirely sure what the Lee Sin is doing at all. And therefore, I'm just going to go ahead and gank the fact that the Syndra's in the mid lane, and Jace, has a flash, and Syndra has a flash, and it's just a regular lane with a regular kill. However, look at Jace's HP. She has compromised herself now, her sequencing, her opportunity to gank this lane, where sums, while Zeri has sums, your bottom lane has none. So you kind of want to try and get the Zeri on equal footing, right? Like no subs, Nautilus has no flash as well, so we can kind of use that to our advantage. and use the full clear to our advantage, right? If the Lee Sin's mind gaming himself because he hasn't shown yet, then at least we have that control. So she goes for this. Look at the wave. It's fat, it's juicy, and Jace's chunk. This is no longer a gank that we can do. Also, look at her posturing. Where's she going? Top side of the lane. Okay, so in this particular case, why would she posture top side with her flash up here? It's always a giveaway for mid laners. Let's have a look. Boom. Always have this in your mind. When they posture or move in a direction and you don't know where the enemy jungler is, assume he is there. And the Jace, unfortunately, doesn't do such things. And Lisa says, yo, what's up? Q with the Q missing HP on the Q2. Lily is now taking that full-ass wave and will, in fact, die. Gave away all information. 16 CS, blue buff, no red, Lisa knows. So, the Syndra's going to push this out. From Lily's perspective, he's going down. Lily's like, well, he might be taking my red, excuse me. So I've called this a red, and I've called this a blue. Yeah, so that's how you know I'm sick. Also missed a lot of Zyra E's at the weekend. It's unlucky. Happens though. So now we're worried about, hey, is the Lee Sin taking my red? Now, have you noticed how this whole thing so far has been about trying to assume what the Lee Sin is doing? The Lee Sin is in the head. The Lee Sin made the cool call of saying, the only disadvantage I have on this champion is if I do this and invade you and you get a vertical jungling situation. We lose then, because I'm giving you what you want farm. If you think I'm going to invade you and I take away the possibility, not only will I have a nice wolf red Krug, which is a clear I've covered many times in the past. It's an old clear, but it still checks out. 100% can do this into a top lane gank. It just doesn't have the same efficiency on the second, third rotation, but when it comes to reverse clearing, you can do this and down. Okay, not ideal because you normally would cut here, you know, or gank mid lane, you kind of take this full back, whatever. But the idea is that this cam will respawn at your 355 marker, right, early. So you fulfill this time being active the whole phase of the early game, and then you can fall back to sort of your blue grump wolves, which would be the second spawn, as like a second phase thing. But I mean, we're not really talking about that clear because it doesn't have effectiveness in general. I'm just kind of mentioning, hey, this is a thing that people used to do on Rek'Sai, especially wolves, red Krugs, gank top lane, cool, done, season 9. Now we don't do it. He just did it now to cover himself from the Lilia. But is my red available? Okay, phew, it is. Which means Lee Sin fell back down to the blue side quadrant, and he's probably doing this. Because we saw the Lee Sin come from the top side, right, with 12 CS and a red buff. But we know he walked back to his blue side, and he had to have started on the wolves, right? Because he had no blue. But did he make it in time to the Raptors somehow? That's probably what most people would think in the moment, right? We have the benefit of the replay. In the moment, you're probably thinking he just did red side quadrant. Lee Sin shows up here with the blue buff. We see that being taken. Move on down. Aphelios is being baited out. Hey, this happens to everybody. This happened to me the other day too. ADCs are not intelligent people most of the time, and if they are, they'd stop playing ADC. They go learn another role for a bit. Now, we know this is down, so we hit this so that he knows where we are, but mostly that we can see stuff. Is he falling back to his Grump? See, the wolves are up now. Is he falling back to Grump wolves? Is he available for me to maybe go take, is it available on the top side? Is a Scuttle Crab available on the top side? We got there eventually. The Lee Sin, this is where the jungle diff begins. You get smacked in the face by this plant right now. You know it's the Lilia. Most of you, 99% of you, even me, with my obsession of a sequencing, would probably go back to this because that's what our champions allow. But if you play the Rek'Sais and the Lee Sins and the Briars and the Belveths of this world and the Jarvans of this world, no. The definition of jungle denial, the definition of jungle difference is about to occur. Watch this. We use our E so they know where we're going to the top side to take the Scuttle Crab. Lee Sin says, I know you're going to the top side to take that Scuttle Crab because most likely you assume I'm doing my Grump on my wolves. So what I'm going to do is shadow my Raptors from counter jungling. Okay, I see you do this, and boom. Look at this. This is it. This is GG. This is GG. She revealed herself multiple times in suboptimal situations. The only time where it was okay was here. But because she revealed herself here and died, and then through the swirl seed, the E down here, the Lee Sin knows exactly what you're doing. Now you should top lane for the kill, which is great, right? You know, hey, I'm ganking, ha ha ha, yes, ha ha, ganking, ha. This is so great. Fat wave 2, alright, bye. You just telegraphed everything, man. You have no HP. You're going down to your jungle camps. Did Lee Sin take this, or did Lee Sin go back to base and come topside? And even so, did Lee Sin take these things, stay out to sequence, see this, and thinks, hey, I can kill you base itemization anyway? That's the coin flip here. That's it. Lee Sin says, I know where you're going. I tracked your CS because, hey, you got 24, right? And that's the thing. If she goes 4, 8, 12, 16, all right, and then she shows up here, she dies. Then she hits a plant here, we don't see anything. She crosses here, and then she shows top lane. It's like, okay, she did 20. She did the scuttle crab, 24. She's falling back to a grump of the wolves because I know she took no other camps other than the red and the scuttle since I last killed her. So, you know she's going to be here. Hello! What do you do for your Lilia? Is the game doomed? Or is it lost to the jungle diff? Leave. She's greeting for the smite. Alright? She's greeting for the smite. Doesn't even get it. And in doing so, because this guy had TP, and that wave was fat and juicy, which I pointed out, guess what's gonna happen next? Exactly. Renekton channels his base. She cancels her base. In this particular case, you've got to sit on top of the Renekton, sync up your bases as much as possible, and try and get out of there. Because you're dying. Which she did. Now, does Lee Sin stay to take my wolf camp? I have no idea. So what do? We have to go down to the bottom side and assume he might actually do that. Does he now go to his Krugs? Does he reset? He does go to his Krugs. Does he reset thereafter? I would assume he does. Now, if you're Lee Sin and you go back to finish your Krugs, you have a nice quadrant clear. Boom. Or clear off the map. Thumbs up. Excellent stuff. Where do you go next? Bottom side. Why? Because you know that the Lilia has to assume that you could take her wolves and then fall back to the Krugs. And you could also just take her wolves and go back to base. You could also just straight up go, like, you could do anything. And when we're thinking about the game from Lilia's perspective like this, you're losing. The guy's playing you. End of story. And that's a jungle denial that we're talking about, because she's only got 24 CS in 6 minutes. So she thinks, okay, why don't I go ahead and do my Raptors? Oh, it's warded, of course, because if you watch the Syndra and you watch the supports and they, oh, this looks tasty. Yeah, but this guy knows it looks tasty because he has eyes. He also knows you're going to the bottom side. So much like the challenge videos on the main channel, you know, you might think you're getting away with this, but the enemy jungler, the Gurins, the Canyons, the top tier foresters of our world, they know these things. They track these things. They anticipate these things. And that's when they control you. So what would I learn from this particular game being shut down this hard? First and foremost, play my game early. And I've been saying this a lot personally, all right? We're losing this game. It's out of hand. Random stuff's happening. I'm not going to continue to try and make our plays forcefully. What can I do right now while everyone is dying, all the lanes are dying, the enemy jungle is getting filled? What can I do? I can sequence, control my own camps. I'm gonna do that. As soon as he shows somewhere else, like say he shows bottom lane and I'm sequencing here, I'm out. I'm basing before that play even happens and I'm swapping back top side. Maybe he can get some counter jungling or a herald or something. Anything. Most of the time it's counter jungling. But also you're gonna have a lot of people giving up heralds for dragons strategically in these situations, which you will see in this game as well, so I'll get to that. But the idea is that you are not dying unnecessarily and you still have 50 CS to his 40. And that's the thing. If the Lilia just full cleared, recognized that Jace was doomed anyway and accepted that, tried to do something on the bottom side because she assumed he started wolves. She assumed he started here. And he hadn't shot it by 3 minutes, which means we assume he's in our top side. So if I can just full sequence down, which was her intent here, do it. Play away from the guy who you know is going to kill you. End of story, right? So now Lee Sin has tracked her multiple times and cut her off multiple times. Jace goes for this trade. He does in fact miss the Q of the wall, so decides to just flash full on commit, which is of course exactly what you do in those cases. Jungle diff move. She's going to be doing this, spotted on this ward, which of course we like. Still gives value. She has to spend time killing it. We see her, which means we can now take all her camps on this side. Now, the jungle diff move is what I said. Control your camps, right? Let him do his stuff and just don't give anything for free, but you don't die. And now, if we see the Lee Sin here, we go take all of this, right? We can control all of these things because our camps are under control. But because our camps are not under control, Lee Sin knows he can go and take them. So now we're losing our camps as well. We go down to the bottom lane with the Syndra, get ourselves a nice turret dive on the unicorn thing, goat thing. See a moon man, say you can die as well. Okay, nice dive, good macro. Lilia says, fine, I'll take the herald. He says, I don't care. Because it's about gold. The herald is about gold at this particular point for the Lilia. You want to use this for plates, that's it. And he's like, I just got way more than you ever going to get from plates. And I denied your own camps. Yeah, they're going to respawn, but still. So what he does, hears that herald go ding, takes his ocean dragon, sees the red spawning, okay, assumes at this particular stage, okay, look, my bottom lane is out of the picture here. Could I go for this? Only if Lilia shows. Only if our bottom lane is in position, which of course they're not. So he doesn't go for the high-risk throw, which most people would actually do. She says, oh, I get to control my camps. Cool. Could have also done some counter jungling. Chose not to because negative prio. The negative prio exists because of the mistakes at the beginning. So the better the jungler, the more those early mistakes are going to haunt you, the more difficult the game is going to be. That's the difference between a challenger and a grandmaster even. So you can imagine the difference between then a grandmaster and a master, and then, you know, like a challenger and a diamond, right? It just keeps getting bigger. Huge when you think about these things. So the Lee Sin then falls back into his camps here, sees the Nautilus roaming and warding. Finally, time to relax and do some farming because I've imparted my wisdom and my lead to the lanes. Cool, I'm going to do that. Lilia's like, whew, I got some camps, cool. Yeah, that's nice, okay, good. Well, guess what? The Lee Sin knew you were top side, so he knew you did this. He also knew you did this. He also knows now that if you fall back to your red side there, which most likely you did to control your camps, you're going to be back on the top side. Yeah? You're going to be back on the top side. So, he can either decide to match you, fist you, destroy you, and so on, or he can say, hey, I see a play made mid lane. Maybe I could make that play myself. Unfortunately for us, the Syndra gets the kill, so we get nothing, but the intent is good. Lilia shows up randomly, and there's a mistake. Now you're saying, but why on earth would Lee Sin be down here? The Lee Sin should be coming topside. Exactly. Exactly. The Lee Sin knows that the Lilia will think that he's on the top side, so he doesn't do that. Who cares about his camps? Her camps are up, and I can take them. And if she comes down here, I will kill her. And if she takes my camps, I don't give a shit, because I'm going to kill them and take all the plates. You follow? It's really tough. It's all about, I know what the enemy jungler thinks I'm going to do, so I'm going to do the opposite. And when you have such a big lead, that's when jungle denial becomes quite intense. And again, if the Lilia doesn't show up here, doesn't rotate to this, and just takes all of this, she might have a better time. But then again, she has negative lane prio. So it's all compounded from those first mistakes. Renekton does move down here, but hey, the Lee Sin is a fed boy. And he's a strong champion who's getting buffed again for zero particular reason. But now you're seeing no more jungle denial. So where's Lilia going? Top side, because why? He knows he's down here. Free plates. Shadowing. Lee Sin cleared this ward. We see the pet here, so we kind of see this from our perspective. No one's really going to notice an in-game. Hello, goat. A little bit of a kick Q combo. Get some slows, get some shields, get some lifesteal. Does a heal. Misses that Q, so she will live. Safeguard back to the Zeri. Moonman tries to do some stuff, but his moon is made of cheese. Okay, sorry, I chuckled at that and gave myself an asthma attack. So basically, the Aatrox is dead. We're going to activate our Herald here, which is terrible because Jace has got some kills. The Renekton's going down to the bottom lane to try to do stuff here again, but he just died. He's going to die again. You know, this is silly. We could have hit the plant, moved on up, actually hit this, take this whole thing with him, do the turret damage. What did I tell you? Even in losing game states, you have opportunities to hit turrets. She is not doing that. So, from her perspective, it seems doomed. From her perspective, she's being jungle diffed. From his perspective, he's doing extreme jungle denial. But she's also not doing the things that could allow her to survive in this game and maybe make him come back later on. Will it be difficult? Yes. Of course. Now, could she go to this side again? Yes. I think I might even hazard, honestly, this particular case, I move up, I hit this, now I've got the presence, we hit this turret together, we get the kill, I can shadow it, maybe take something, right? Fall back down to take this outside in rule, and then fall back, put a control ward here. That's when you win, right? All of a sudden, you've eked out a little bit of push and presence, taken something, fallen back and taken something else, gotten some vision control. Okay. Plates, cash monies, and we're good to go. Yeah, we're good to go. And then maybe you can win the game. Now, unfortunately, we didn't do those things, and of course, you can see the Renekton decided he, in fact, did not want to win the game, and, you know, here we go. Lee Sin just runs into Lilia, and this is besides the point. I mean, most of you here are, could you end up carrying this game with this guy trolling? Hell no. But the problem is you have these games, and 9 times out of 10 you have these games, there's no troll. People are just dying, people are just playing badly, and you're the one that has to carry them. Is this game winnable? Pfft, tough, but definitely possible. It starts from level 2 though. It starts from level 3, and it starts from understanding what you need to do. However, when you're playing the Lee Sin's position, this is exactly what you do to give yourself a 95% chance to win this game. So think of it from the Lee Sin's perspective. Change your mentality, because most of you are probably thinking of this from the Lily's perspective, and the troll, and the difficulty of having this guy do this to you. Stop. Swap. Become the Lee Sin. And that's the lesson. I want to show you what happens on the other side of the coin. We have a Singed here, okay, with a tank Nidalee top lane. I've seen some weird things lately. Now, he's proxying. Most junglers know at this point, don't let this compromise you. Don't let this compromise the mini game of your jungle matchup, and understand where exactly you want to go ganking and where you expect to have lane prio and such things. Thing is, obviously, we're going to speedrun this a little bit. We have here the Lee Sin going for the Singed, right? Okay, going all in, ward hopping, guy's going to flash and plant away. Right, now you compromise, because the enemy jungler will see you and say, huh, maybe there's something we can do about this. In this particular case, the Zyra decides to actually go on the top side, basically saying, can I risk a little bit of time here to maybe kill him and maybe steal blue? The reason why you go around the top side and not underneath is because it's warded, but obviously this is clearly a mistake, because I think if you approach from Fog of War here, you've got max range E, you probably have a better shot, although you don't have smite and he does. So all in all, I think you probably should not do this. And seeing him here on this red team vision, it's better just to cut down and do what is going to happen next. So focus on that here rather than what's happening now. Also, because you need to pay attention to the lanes, just keep an eye on that. Look, you see Singes is in base, the Nidalee on the top side, we hit a plant, we chuck out obviously an E there, we're going to electrocute proc. Now, immediately in these particular cases, usually you see the movement pretty quick, okay? Even if there's an HP compromised laner, the 3v1 equals you probably die. You could maybe turn a kill depending on your champion. But a lot of the time I don't see junglers basically say, you know what? This was over aggressive. I coin flipped a little bit. I'm in a bad spot. Let me just flash out. Why wait for the inevitable flash where you get HP compromised? You lose the HP war? Don't do that. Flash now and cut across. Now, from red team's perspective of the vision, watch this. We will see the Lee Sin and where he goes next. Compromised, 8 CS, going to his Grump. Cut across mid lane for a drive-by. It doesn't matter that he knows where you're going, because you know, if you're watching the lanes, that it's not warded anywhere, right? You know it's clean. So he thinks you're going to be going to this side most likely, or maybe to drive-by to bottom lane. But if you understand the concept of pathing more eloquently, efficiently, mercifully, being just better overall, and you want to flame horizon a guy, what you do is you say, thank you so much for your raptors. And we can speedrun this. He shows on the ward, he's going to the wolves. We take this away. We look bottom lane for a gank, but we don't necessarily want to show too much. Although I think it's pretty obvious that the guy is going to cut up and do his topside scuttle crab. We don't know if he's going to come down to this and this, or if he's going to go to the scuttle crab. He shows up here with 16 CS. Red, blue, Grump, wolves. That means this is still available. So he goes for the gank here. Good play by him, as expected, right? We get the kill. Nice. Zyra in the meantime says, all right, well, I took this and I took this. He's going to help her push this a little bit. Because we did red, Krugs, Raptors, this will respawn right now, 415. Well, 415 to 420, and then you should have this at your regular timer. So he's going to this right now, which is great. Do the Grump after the blue. Do the wolves after the blue. Here we go. Perfect sequencing into that 4 minute 45 Raptor camp, okay? And while you do this, you basically hope that the Lee Sin hasn't cut up to take these camps. I don't think it's likely. Most likely he's going to be on the bottom side resetting. You ward anyway. Oh, there he is. Okay, a little bit of safety, but I don't think it's necessary in most cases. As you know, in the moment you think differently. You kind of hedge, you know, A option, B option about where the enemy jungler will go. So successfully, you've taken this quadrant, this quadrant, this quadrant, minus the red buff, and a second rotation here, plus a bottom scuttle. He has nothing to do on the bottom side. So, shows up, tries to get something going, roam from the support. Now we see the Lee Sin do this, and this is a big wave, chunked HP Singed. Let's see if we can get a gank off here before he shows up. Pretty terrible gank overall, but it doesn't really matter that it's a terrible gank. The point is a little bit of pressure here, shoving out, biding some time, and preventing perhaps a preventable dive. You saw the Lee Sin show very briefly, all right? So now basically what you're going to say, look, I don't really care about this too much. I'm going to go back to base and spend my cash money gold. The Lee Sin is like, okay, well, I got nothing else to do. He literally sits here. Remember, the whole time this is happening, the goal for you is to take this and this again. You gave it to me once, through one mistake, you're not seeing it again. Jungle denial, jungle diff, pathing mercifully. The Lee Sin, we would have pressed tab seeing 20 CS, okay? So we're waiting for this, waiting for this, waiting for this. You think he's over here, which I think is reasonable. Then what's going to happen is he's going to show top side on this dive, eventually. There he is, there he is, there he goes. And because we see this, kill, cool, no assist, beautiful. You can path, always hug the wall, yes, bracket for pathing, outside in, touch the wall. Don't get spotted by any wards that may exist there. You take the second spawn raptors. And now you can basically decide, do I want the red buff or do I want the Krugs? Because at this particular stage, you know the Lee Sin obviously will fall back down to his blue side, but look for a gank, a good opportunity here to try and do something. It's obviously warded, zone the karma, get the assist, no stress, all right? Don't worry too much about anything else other than the fact that the gank is good, and you know Lee Sin at this point is on the top side, so we can go ahead and take the Krugs as well, over the wall. There we go. Could do something here as well, but, you know, I don't really like hedging those kinds of things. You just say, what can I deny the enemy jungler today? And usually that's how we talk about stuff. Draven dies 2v1. Doesn't really matter. Lee Sin was seen on the top side. Now, Karma shows up here. We'll clear this vision. No prior mid lane. Can we gank it? I think we can. Let's go. Boom. Force the flash out. We'll take that. Wasn't going to hit, but we'll take it. Now, why do we go to the top side here, not to the bottom side? We go to the top side because we know the Lee Sin, okay, would have done his blue side, is going to go either down to his red side to take the camps he thinks are available, or, if he's paying attention and tracking CS, he's going to cut up and take away this stuff, so that he can dive the Singed again and get Herald control. That's what he should be doing. However, if you have the lead, you can basically say, look, I think if he is here, with Pantheon being up and LeBlanc being out of the picture, we can take him. We can do stuff. 60 CS to 36 CS. Oh, look, it's available. How blessed. Cool. Take it all. Free. Right? Know the Lee Sin is over here. Guy's gonna go to the Dragon. Think that's pretty obvious at this stage. Singe is gonna proxy. Pantheon alter the top lane, you take a Herald. Lee Sin shows up. Guy's just looking for camps. But look at this. He's lost. He doesn't know what to do. So now you can just go ahead and do the Herald. Very, very free, very easy, very juicy. Thank you. And then, with Lee Sin investing way too much time on the bottom side, now we can finally open up the can of worms and affect the mid lane. Hello, LeBlanc. Yes, sir. Go for that. Proc it. She goes back. Double stun. Sorry, double slow from the plants. Activate this. And now your Pantheon, all of a sudden, despite being ganked twice, gets fed. Cool, huh? Look at the CS gap. 78 to 40. And now you fast forward again. And you keep going. Obviously, at this point, you don't take the bottom side quadrant. You see the Lee Sin there, purely because you don't have the ability to guarantee laner roams. And you haven't reset at this particular stage with 2.8k gold. There we go. 1v1 battle. See the Lee Sin moving? So this is a case where, do you go back to base and spend your cash monies? Or are you strong enough and see an opportunity enough to clean up and counter gank as well? Because you see the Lee Sin, you gave him some free camps, but we don't like that necessarily. So, and when you think, okay, look, I can go ahead and do this, make sure you scan on approach just to ensure if it's warded or not. She dodges your E, but you get the 60% stack slow. You get the knock up on the Lee Sin and the LeBlanc, and plants plus Qs equals dead Lee Sin. 202, 108 CS, 58 CS, gold amount, 5.7 by 13 minutes. My metric is 6k gold by 14 if you want to be the 1v9 carry. That's a good thing to head towards.